Hello and welcome to Thaiger Bites. I'm Jay and this is Tim, and we're here to answer your questions, feedback and comments from our shows on YouTube, our posts on Facebook, on Thaiger Talk Forum, on the website, and also Instagram.
Just apologies ahead of time. Jay's had a booster this morning and he's...
Yes, I've had my first booster shot of AstraZeneca and I feel safe.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
The tourist tax was the big story yesterday, the 500 baht tourist tax that's going to be added on to your departure when you leave Thailand. We're not exactly sure the mechanics, but people weren't happy about it. Jimmie Bybee said the 500 baht is just one more reason not to come to a place that's asking a lot to come there. Extra tests, stay in more expensive hotels, and requiring a very expensive insurance. Well, the insurance, I think, is expensive. And yes, you do have to have the extra tests at the moment, but that's being reduced from next month. And stay in more expensive hotels, not sure about that. Certainly BYD hotels where we are here, the rates are very competitive at the moment, certainly less than you would have been paying, say, a couple of years ago. And that's across the board. So you're not really staying in more expensive hotels. Yeah,
and actually, if you stay at BYD Loft and use the code the Thaiger at checkout, you can get a 10% discount. So visit www.bydlofts.com.
And Paul Ulrich, on the same sort of tone, said, I'm so wary of all these ideas of the Thai government. There are still other countries offering warm weather. Well, yeah, you're right. But some people just like Thailand because it's Thailand. And at the end of the day, that's why I live here. Yeah, there are plenty of other countries I'd like to go. But things are pretty well organised here, and it's opening, and the restrictions are slowly being reduced. So, yeah, there are other places you can go with warm weather, but they're not Thailand.
Right. I have a comment here from Mike Burston, who's a Thaiger legend. Thank you for being a Thaiger legend. And a member, Mike. He says, hi Tim and Jay, reverse parking is safer to leave. Now, we were having a debate about reverse parking and parking in Thailand yesterday, so this is in response to that. He says further on, this is very common across Asian countries. This is also the same reason that the Australian mining and resource industry mandates reverse parking, which is having an impact on parking behavior in Australian cities, where you now see more cars parked reverse than you used to 20 years ago. I've actually seen a lot of comments by a lot of people who keep saying the same thing, that reverse parking is actually considered safer, and when you are actually learning to drive and go to driving school, a lot of the car instructors and driving instructors suggest to reverse the car while parking.
You just picked out the ones that support your narrative.
Well, there was only about 200
parking.
out of 400 that said that, and there was about one or two comments, including yours, that said, no, just reverse parking is blah 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 blah.
I didn't comment.
Sure.
By the way, yesterday
allegedly,
I was driving a car that does that for you. You press the button, reverse park, and it reverse parks for you. You don't even have to touch the wheel.
That's right.
We've got a review on that, by the way, coming up soon.
It
was a bit of a party trick.
Right. Before I move on, I've got another comment on the same topic from Sean Walsh, who says, reverse parking is much safer, and you can get the vehicle. How do you say it? Vehicle or vehicle? Vehicle. Reverse parking is much safer, and you can get the vehicle into a tighter spot unless you all have all-wheel steering. That's also a good point, because unless your car has all-wheel steering.
How many cars have got all-wheel steering?
That's the point. So that's why you reverse, because you can get in tighter corners. Sean?
How do you figure that out?
What do you mean?
Well, do you have all-wheel steering on your very expensive car?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then again, that's what you get when you pay 4 million baht for a car.
It was actually 16
million.
Yes, in my dreams. Right.
Brian Brown. Now, this guy, I don't really have words for him, but I'll let his comment say it for me. I've said this so many times, but I'll try again. I'm really looking forward to all the extended misery, economic hardship and suffering that all this will bring to the Thai people. Well, Brian, what a prick. I mean, fancy carrying on like that. And I'm happy to read that comment out because it just shows you up to be the dirty little scum that you are. And there were 10 other comments below that supported what I think about you. There are miseries and there are hardships at the moment, but you wishing this upon the Thai people is beneath you and beneath anybody's rational behaviour. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, shame on you, Brian. Anyways, let's move on to PK, who says, now that you got Jay straightened out on economics, let's get Tim to say aluminum. How do you say it? So, I've always said aluminium.
Yeah, in Australia, we say aluminium.
Australia.
I think in most parts of the world you say aluminium.
Yes.
But in America, as is their wont, they do like to pronounce some words differently and spell a lot of words differently. And they still use the imperial measurement system too.
Yeah.
Like if you say to an American, how big's a metre? They go,
yeah.
How about a litre?
They do miles instead of kilometres.
That's right.
Crazy.
So, aluminium.
Yeah,
that's
aluminium.
how I'd say it. It's spelt the same way, but
I'm sorry, PK, but no one at the Thaiger office is going to say aluminum.
For whatever reason, at the Thaiger, we use what's called Oxford English spelling and Oxford English pronunciation. So, when it used to be the Phuket Gazette, which the Thaiger was in its early form, they used American spelling. I suppose it's because they had an American owner. But most of the world, English-speaking world, use this Oxford English spelling, so that is our standard. But it's not right or wrong, it's just different.
Right.
We're not changing.
Let's go on with another comment.
Shenzhen7 says, as far as I'm concerned, the TAT can stick it.
Oof.
Not sure where, but they can stick it. As things happen, it seems there are a lot more competitive holiday destinations. The worsening exchange rate already made Thailand a lot less attractive. Seems the country truly is run by idiots, allegedly. About the worsening exchange rate, that actually is now in reverse. The last 2 months, certainly against the US dollar, the Thai baht has dropped, some 5% I think more than 10% over the year. So the exchange rate for visitors here is improving, and that would be the same for, I know, the pound, for the Australian dollar, for the US dollar certainly. But currencies move all the time. But looking at the charts the other day, yes, the Thai baht has fallen quite a lot. So you'll be getting more bang for your baht if you come to Thailand at the moment.
Right, Tim, I've got a comment here from DTT Go, who says, seems like Thailand is discouraging poor tourists from coming into their country and only allow rich ones to come in. I believe DTT Go is referring to the added new 500 baht tax to tourists that will take place very soon in the near future.
Well, I think the start of next year they're saying they're going to introduce it.
Yeah.
500 baht departure tax.
Yeah. DTT Go, he's saying it's discouraging poor tourists. Well, I wouldn't say poor tourists, but I get his point. There are a lot of backpackers who come to Thailand, and for 500 baht, in certain places, you can definitely get one night stay in, and if you're staying in like a hostel, maybe even 2 nights stay. So yeah, it could have an impact on whether they're discouraging backpackers or tourists with a smaller budget to come to Thailand.
Johann Bach has decided to be a bit of a Debbie Downer today, and he says, isn't the global economy supposed to collapse anyway towards mid-October? I actually listen to quite a lot of podcasts about the world economy, and I've been following this over the past 3 or 4 months, and there's a lot of the bigger economists now saying things are coming to an end. The rise in the US stock market is now very dangerous, and it's going to crash any moment. October is usually a very bad month for things like stock and bond markets. So we're about to see if all these predictions are going to come to fruition. But that is Johann Bach's comments. And we don't endorse it, and we don't consider, and nor do we have the expertise to predict the movement of the world markets or currencies.
Right. Moving on to a comment from Tobol, who says...
Who?
Tobol.
Tobol.
Yes. People need to stop whining. I would gladly pay 500 baht tax to enter Thailand if you're going to BITCH and moan over approximately...
You can say bitch.
Oh, can we?
Well, I just did.
I didn't know you could say that on YouTube. Okay. If you're going to bitch and moan over approximately $20, you can't afford to go on holiday. If you don't like it, stay at home. Simple. As long as there is no quarantine on arrival, I couldn't care less. So do people need to stop whining about this 500 baht tax thing? Because a lot of people have comments and opinions on it.
Sure. I think the issue is that we don't know where it's going. They were saying we're going to collect this tax, but there was no details on how you pay it or where it's going to be paid to. They were saying a whole lot of lovely motherhood statements about sustainable tourism and blah, 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 blah. But I think we would all like to see the details, and then we'll probably be less concerned about it.
Right.
Pad Gaprao says, "What a bugger" should be the new TAT slogan. So this is Jet yesterday, and this is what he said.
To make matters worse, tourists returning to the UK from Thailand currently face mandatory hotel quarantine and 2 COVID tests. What a bugger.
So, what a bugger. So I'm not sure, we might send it off to the TAT and see if they'd like to take it up and...
Hey, make some t-shirts about it.
Yes, what a bugger.
Right, comment here from Greg Hanna, who says, "The Walker Bulldog was a light World War II tank. Very obsolete, but I don't know why that would not be adequate here. Frankly, support spending like clothing, food, servicing items the military uses would aid the economy immensely."
Oh, this is about the Thai army saying they're going to import less of their military equipment and
maintain them locally.
Including their very, very old tanks.
Yeah.
How old were they, Jason, the tanks? 50 years plus.
Right, yeah. So
From the Korean War.
We got information from our tank expert, Jason. Don't ask why. And he gave us the information that, the Thai army uses the Walker Bulldog from the World War II tank, apparently.
World War II or Korean War?
Korean War tank,
yes.
Okay.
The what?
M24 came before the M.
Oh, the M24 came before that.
Yeah, so we've been told by Jason.
Didn't you know that?
What can I do in front of Jason? I mean, his tank knowledge is immense.
I don't know how to even pronounce this person's name, but he said, "I wouldn't stay in quarantine even for a day." Hasn't that been part of the just consistent narrative for the past, 18 months since Thailand's been saying that you can come back to Thailand, but you're going to have to do some quarantine. So I think once they remove the quarantine, they're going to see a quantum shift in the whole tourism market.
Yeah. I've got a comment here from Mike, this is my last comment, and he says, "Tim's sarcasm is pretty funny, non-existent in Thai culture." Sawadee krap. Mike, actually, I like this comment because you're right. When I first came to Thailand and did use sarcasm, people just thought I was lying. They would just be like, "Oh, why did you say that? You're a liar. You're lying." And I'm like, "No, I'm making a joke. I'm being sarcastic. I don't really mean what I'm saying." I thought that was obvious, but soon I realized that yes, in Thai people and in Thai culture, they don't really understand the concept of sarcasm.
Well, there you go. I can't comment about it. I think sarcastic humour is a feature of certainly British and Australian humour.
Yeah.
Less so in America, if you sort of watch the different comedy vibes coming out of those countries. But I don't know where I got it from, but it's just sort of the way that I address things.
The Australian in you.
The what?
The Australian in you.
Paz says, "Waste of time making any comment on here now. It would appear if it does not fit with selling the Tiger, it's gone." Well, we just read your comment out, Paz, and...
Paz, you had a moment. This was your chance.
Yeah, what a load of rubbish. All the comments we've read out today we haven't deleted, and they've been nothing to do with selling the Tiger. I should also clarify that the Tiger is not for sale, and we're not selling the Tiger.
As much as you would like to buy it, Paz. Because,
so you've got everything wrong there. However, throw us a figure, Paz. We could do a deal.
Right.
That's all I've got.
That's all you've got, and that's all I've got for today's episode. We hope that you've enjoyed it. Right, Tim, before we go, we'd like to
checking what's happening with my pussy.
I see.
Because she's having her lady parts attended to today.
Your cat?
6-month-old kitty cat.
Right. Before we leave, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Coffee Culture, Thank you, Coffee Culture, for providing us this beautiful mug, as well as roast and ground coffee from all across Thailand. You can actually go to the website and order the Doi Mot organic coffee, as well as different blends of coffee at www.coffeeculture.asia.
Nice packaging too.
Yeah, if you click the link in the description, you'll actually get a 10% discount. And talking about discounts, you can also come and visit BYD Lofts. It's a great place in Patong. And again, if you put the promo code The Thaiger, you'll get a 10% discount as well as a free ride from the airport. So
I think
check
it's in a
them out.
Merc too. So
Yeah.
it's a good ride from the airport, better than one of those taxis.
BYD Lofts, the place to be in Patong. Right. And that's it for the show today. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a comment or click like or click subscribe if you've liked the video.
Have you subscribed?
I hope you've subscribed.
You haven't?
You need to subscribe. Right. We'll see you tomorrow.